There's never not a season. It's year-round. And so there's lots of sports to choose from everything from golf to basketball to baseball to football to soccer to hockey, etc., etc. And so so they say, I want to be a football player. And so you ask them, what position do you want to play? 99 out of 100 want to be the striker. They don't want to play defense. They want to score the goal. They want to do the Pele bicycle kick. Huh? Well, if it's basketball is their game, they want to be the one that can jam it home with a tomahawk dunk, from the free throw line. Just come sailing in, smash. If their game is golf, you ask them, what is it you want to do? I want to hit that 300-yard drive like Tiger. Oh yeah. I mean, go and watch golfing. All the men, they swagger out there with these huge drivers. Everybody wants to impress how far they can hit it off the tee. But that's not how the game is won. There's an expression among golfers is that you drive for show, but you putt for dough. Putting's not that dramatic, But the drive, man, when you nail that thing, everybody goes, wow. These are the larger-than-life characters that young men want to be. Hear me. It's not the stars that win the game. They may sell the tickets, but they don't win the game. The one that wins the game is the defender that shadows his prey untiringly. Games are won by the basketball player who passes to the open man and hustles back on defense. What I thought about doing was challenging Brother Jay to a little basketball this morning. But then I woke up and got smart. But now I'm going to tell you, I really think I could do it. I really think I could, because you see, there's something. If a father is teaching his son, what I'm trying to say is, the winning is not in the dramatic stuff; it's in the fundamentals. If a little boy is, a young lad is practicing basketball, I have to talk about that. That's not y'all's sport, but that was my sport. Then what he wants to do, he wants to get to where he can dunk the ball. And the day that he dunks the ball, he goes and gets his dad and says, Dad, come watch this. Because that's cool. That's great. But you're not going to win the game just because you can dunk the ball. What wins the game is if you work on the offhanded shot, is that you're playing right-handed. I'm giving you my secret now, Jay. Is that you're playing right-handed, and then you think you're going to shoot with the right hand, but I come under you and I shoot with the left hand. I can do that. If it wouldn't have made dents in this, I was going to demonstrate. I was going to get Jay to guard me. If I could get around him, I could make the shot. I'm not sure I can get around him. I'm still, my motor, my brain knows what to do, but my body doesn't cooperate. But little boys, they don't show. You see, some basketball players, they come down here, then they make the spinning dunk, whoom, and then they stand there for the audience. Everybody else is running back, and the guy inbounds the ball, and he throws it down there, and they score on the other end because he's down here. If you're going to win the game, you got to hustle back on defense. And if you're playing a guy, he's got to think that you're his shadow. You're in his face. It doesn't matter how much he runs, where he goes, you're right there with him. You got your hands up in his face. It takes hard work, in other words. That's called the fundamentals of the game. It's the same thing in being a child of God. God's not looking for the superstar. He's looking for somebody who will stick with the fundamentals, who will say, producing is what's important. And the secret to producing is not in the show. It's in just being consistent. It's being intentional. It's being consistent and persistent in my walk with God. God's not about the big play. And He's not about the big player. He is the big player. You don't really have a team until, as long as you think that you're so good that you can score the point. Now, there's nothing wrong with having confidence and knowing that you can play the game, but you've got to know that it's smarter. No matter how good your talent is, if I'm good enough that two guys start to guard me, because I've scored the last 3 times I had the ball. If I am a team player, and if I'm playing for the team and not to show off, I am going to make sure that when these 2 players come to guard me, you know what that means? That means there's a man open on the court, and I'm going to get the ball to the open man, because the percentage of him scoring is much higher than me, no matter how good my talent is. But you have to be really interested. You have to be a kingdom-minded person to not worry about who gets the glory, about who scores the points. If it's for the team, you score, it's still, I score. But now if you're trying to get a better contract, if you're worried about, history and how many points you score. But a coach knows those guys may sell the tickets, but they don't win the game. God is looking for steady, dependable, day in, day out performers. Jesus revealed His game plan. He said, "He that endureth to the end shall be saved." That's God's game plan. You don't have to be showy. You don't have to be flashy. You don't have to be dramatic. You just have to stick with it. Jesus didn't look like a big player. Jesus was so common and ordinary that Judas had to kiss Him on the cheek for them to recognize who He was. The majority of the people that followed Jesus followed Him for His miracles. When He gave them free food, they were ready to crown Him king. Read the story. Right after He fed the 5,000, right after they wanted to put a crown on His head. When He talked about His oneness with the Father, they wanted to kill Him. They were interested in Jesus based on what He did, not upon who He was. We have to make sure that we're not any different. We need to think long and hard about this. Is Jesus just a spiritual Santa Claus for you? Is Jesus helping you with your agenda, or are you helping Jesus with His agenda? We often act like Hebrews. Hebrews is a beautiful book with Hebrews 11 and 6. Says, "He that cometh to God must believe that He is, and that He rewards those that diligently seek Him." Some of us treat that scripture like it says, He rewards those that diligently seek from Him. I'm going to diligently. See, somebody warned me very early when Sister Barbara first got sick. Brother Tenney sent me an email, and he said, "Steve," he said, he said, most people make the mistake of seeking the miracle instead of seeking the miracle